Good morning, everyone. Well, actually, it's a beautiful morning here at Champleys. Welcome back to another episode of Boots to Business. You know who I am.
Reaches, doesn't get there. Goodness me, there it is for Marlon Harewood.
I'm already late. He's gonna be waiting for me. And he's just here.
Yes, man's up.
Yes, my bro.
Going on, man?
Woo!
Going on, you good?
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good, man. How are you?
Good, man.
One of his own players gets the punch. Oh my goodness! Anton Ferdinand! There's a message.
Oh, wow. Yes, my bro. Thank you. I
Man.
can't believe I got you in the car.
Yeah, man.
This is my boy. I'm excited for this one. You know what? It's mad. Throughout our West Ham days and throughout our career, we never get questions like this because we always have banter.
Oh, exactly that.
We never get to question each other or see what's going on.
Not just that, in life, innit? Like, when you're lifing, things happen, you evolve and stuff, and whilst things are happening, it's not on the forefront of your mind to ask them questions, because whenever we see each other, it's just like we're back in the dressing room.
100%. So this is going to feel funny for me, but obviously I know a lot of you as a person and your history and everything like that, but it'll be nice to quiz you and question you to try and help the next generation, and that's what I'm trying to achieve now, because I've gone through my career and there's not really been much there support for lads, especially our generation and what they've gone through. So obviously you and what you've been through, it would be a massive help to the next people in line and to look out for what to do. And obviously what you've been through in life is mad, because I look at you so differently now, because before you looked at me as a senior player,
Yeah.
and now I look at you as a role model.
This is the way that I explain it, yeah?
Yeah.
For me personally, like, my career was flourishing, I was doing really, really well. Then all of a sudden, the racial incident
Yeah.
happened with John Terry. What we're talking, nearly 14 years ago now. 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah.
In them 13, 14 years, I don't feel like I've had a breather of things happening in my private life, things happening as a footballer. I don't feel like I've had a breather. Something always happened,
Yeah.
you know, and I've had to deal with something every summer, so to speak, or most days after that. But again, I'm thankful for my parents. I'm thankful for my family as a whole.
Yeah.
My wife now, who was my then girlfriend, for sticking by me, you know, because there was times where I could have gone off the rails, and I did go off the rails. There was times, 100% there was. There was.
I have to laugh because I just brought back some memories.
Yeah, but there was. But a lot of people would have tapped out,
Yeah.
but they didn't, you know, and a lot of them grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and said, listen, Anton, sort yourself out. You're better than this.
I call it life lessons.
Life lesson, 100% life lessons.
So now we're giving that life lesson to someone else, because someone else might be different from you, because they might choose that thing that you went through, and they might want to do that.
I think
so. Everyone's different in their own way, but it's just trying to knowing where your path wants to go.
And I think the biggest thing is for the young players today is that financial guidance.
Yeah.
You know, if I knew questions to ask my financial advisor back then, if I had questions that I know now to ask the question, I probably wouldn't have invested in a lot of the things that he brought my way.
Let me just explain something to you now as well. And this is, whoever's listening to this, I thank you for tuning in and listening to this. And I'm not speaking bad about anyone else, but people, like, lads have financial advisors, lads have accountants, but still go bankrupt.
Yep.
So you saying this and knowing your knowledge, but it's just having someone there that's got your best interest. Obviously, they have to make money, but explain to that person how you're making money so they can understand what's going on and what you're doing.
Explain, and let's put it candidly. Explain to the player, to your client, that if you put 100 grand in, I'm gonna earn 10% at the front of it
straight away.
So I'm gonna earn 10 grand straight away.
Instead of being not. Yeah, again, I'm not. This is my opinion and experience, and I'm not talking bad about anybody or whoever's been through experience, but I just know that they don't get taught. So, like, you can, at least 10, 15 minutes, you can sit there and explain to your client what's he doing, 100%. What you're investing in, and how he's doing it. Even if it goes badly, at least he knows why it's gone badly.
Exactly. But the facts are, you as a person now, and this is a good carrot for you guys that are watching to have this in your armory to ask your financial advisor. So when I said if I had the questions that I had now to ask my financial advisor back then, I would have been a lot better off. On a simple
100%.
For me, a lot of them bring you bonds and stuff like that to invest into. Yeah. The first question you got to ask, is it FCA regulated?
Yeah.
Is it regulated by the financial administrators?
No, all of that. And
is it?
It's the tax implication
100%.
that kills. It's the tax element that kills lads now in our age, because they're feeling it now, because they're getting these tax bills, wondering what they are.
Yeah.
How do you not know what they are? Because you should know what you're investing in and what you're saving in.
Yeah.
To get a letter saying that you owe this much money, that's just like not to the financial advisor or whoever taxman. I blame you for not asking what you've got, because you should know what you've got.
The financial advisor's been paid up front. He's fine. Once that happens,
to prepare you. No, exactly. Should prepare you for what you've got. I know it's easy said than done and all that kind of thing, but still, you should ask questions of the people that's looking after you.
100%. But I would ask, is it FCA regulated?
Yeah.
If he says yes, fine. Is it asset backed? Is what I'm putting in my money into, is it backed by an asset that is worth more than the investment I'm putting in?
Yeah.
Or the investment as a whole?
Yeah.
Forget the investment that you're putting in. You might be putting in 100 grand, but the whole investment's £1 million.
Yeah.
So if the assets there is 200 grand, there's only 2 of you that really are getting your money back. The other 8 of you, the other 8 are struggling.
Yeah.
So the asset needs to be worth more than the whole investment. So it needs to be worth more than a million quid.
But the thing is, now you talking like that, it's only last 2-3 years you've only learnt that.
The last 5, since I retired and I started to go into business meetings, that's when I learned it.
Yeah. Because you're
100%.
asking questions, and you want to know because you've got a business.
Exactly. But then if they're saying yes to that, my next question is, how much are you putting in?
Yeah.
Because if it's that secure, let's put it in together then. Do you know what I mean? Because if it's that secure, any person who's a financial advisor, they would invest in that then themselves.
The rest of this podcast is coming to you from the UK's leading luxury spa brand, Shampleys, with elegant countryside and locations. There will be one near to you.
Most of what I'm going to start off with is the West Ham days. So, like, what was your highlight of your time at West Ham?
My highlights of being at West Ham, one being a fan first and going from the stand to the pitch, was something you can't explain. You know, the feeling that you can't explain that, you know. But in terms of my time there as a player, the dressing room, our dressing room was
crazy, wasn't it?
Was unbelievable. You know,
but I'm sorry, but people don't understand. I can't. People ask me that,
hard.
and then when I try and talk about it and then express it to them, they don't understand.
They won't understand because you had to be in it. You know, you had to be in it. Like when we all get together, it's almost like we're in the dressing room again. You know, and I think that just tells you everything. Like I always see friendships.
Yeah.
The friendship where you know it's a real good friendship or is solid and it's based on good foundations are the ones that don't have to speak to them every day. But when you see them, it's like I spoke to them 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I might not have seen you or spoke to you for 6 months.
Yeah.
You know, and it is like that with our dressing room. our teammates, when we don't see each other for sometimes it's been years, and then we get back in contact with each other, and it was like we was in the dressing room. It goes straight back to that.
Literally, the banter was just going crazy.
Everything, and I think that epitomises our dressing room. But one thing that people will never understand is, as much as we loved banter and we loved the party side of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
We were serious people when it came to our work. We were serious people when it came to football. Sometimes that brought arguments, it brought fights.
It brought a lot of things.
But
I think that made our dressing room.
100%.
It was banter because people understood that we care. We're there to work and do well. And then outside of the pitch, that was just there.
Yeah, like when I explain to fans now, especially the first year in the Premier League.
Yeah.
When I say like, we was out 4 times a week at minimum. Like, and they go, what?
They don't understand that.
And you lot were playing like that.
Yeah.
It was like, that's why we were playing like that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
However, it caught up with me later on in my career.
I bet it did.
You know, so I don't advise
to be fair,
it.
you did like to party hard back in them days. But obviously now you've grown up a lot.
No, I did, like, but
I think that was just our era.
I was living it was 100% our era.
Our dressing room, obviously nowadays, I don't know if the lads do it now, but I think it's so important that they do, because you get a good team bonding, understanding each other. Because we had like a proper squad that was out. It was like 10, 15 lads, which is good. I think looking back, that made us, because like when we were on that pitch, we're literally fighting for each other.
You know people's real personality.
Yeah, yeah.
From not just being in the dressing room, but outside the pitch.
Yeah.
When you go out. It's almost like, you know, like back in the day, I think the old school thing was, when you're out and you've had a drink with someone, you will know if they're ready to go in the trenches with you or not. And 100%. It was based on drinking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, and
but I think Pars did well, because the recruitment,
managed it really well.
Yeah, the recruitment that he brought in, he brought characters.
Yeah.
He didn't bring anyone that was, no disrespect to anyone else, but the characters that we had, they could handle themselves.
Yeah, if you couldn't handle yourself, you couldn't come in our dressing room.
No,
impossible.
You'll finish.
Impossible.
You'll be finished. I think he knew if you're walking through that door, you have something about you to deal with it. Because I think that's why we did so well, because we had that team bonding, lads that could look after themselves, and we looked after each other, because you was bought into that.
But that came from a camaraderie that I never saw again. Yeah. I had unbelievable dressing room everywhere I went.
Yeah.
I had unbelievable dressing rooms, really good ones, but I never had a camaraderie of brothers like I did at West Ham.
Okay.
You know, and
why do you think that is? It's interesting you said that, because I thought that would be a manager's first thing. Obviously, I know sometimes it's not, and sometimes it's taken out of your hands, because the players that you, as a manager, get in, because sometimes you go into a club, they're not your players, and you have to try and work with what you got. But why weren't that at some of the places that you've been to?
I think when I was a little bit older, I think Pard's done a great job. Many of the players in our squad weren't family men. They didn't have kids, I would say.
Okay.
You was one of the first ones to have kids, really, in our dressing room. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, but the way we was as a dressing room, he knew you had to have somebody who was willing to go out with the team.
Yeah.
You know, to be part of that camaraderie.
Because he loved it himself.
Because he wanted to do it himself. But also, not even just that, like, we had senior players like Christian Daly, Andy Merville, Malcolm Mackay, who had families. Roy Carroll, who had families. However, the core of the group wasn't, we were all like under 25.
I know.
All of us were under 25.
Oh, we terrorised some teams though.
We were all under 25 and living our best life at the time, you know, and
it's testament to Pards.
It is, massively.
Because he wanted us to live our best lives, but 100%. At the same time, enjoy what we wanted,
And this is why I say he's my best manager.
Yeah, no, he's mine as well.
This is why I always say he's the best manager.
Obviously, just what he's achieved for me, what I've done in the Premier League, he
was one of them people, and he stuck to his word. And that's a hard thing for a manager at a football club. He literally says, it's going to be tough.
Yeah.
And I'm going to play you regardless to whoever I bring in. Don't you worry. And when you know when a manager says that, you want to sign. You're signing straight away.
But you also take it with a pinch of salt because you're not used to that.
Yeah, but you don't know what's going to come of that and how long that's going to last. Yeah. But he stuck to his word. So in my mind already, I need to not repay him, but I just need to do...
Run for a brick wall for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was with me. He got to know me as a person. Forget the footballer.
Yeah, yeah.
Take the footballer away. He wanted to know me as a person. And I respected that so much. And I had him at the right time for the age that I was, 18, 19. He treated me like an adult.
Yeah. Do you think I love, sorry to interrupt, because my mind's working overtime. He treated you like an adult and treated you like a person because of your brother?
No. I was Anton.
Okay.
I was Anton.
Okay.
We used to have arguments.
Yeah.
Because he wouldn't play me in my rightful position based on the fact that people were going to compare me to Rio.
Yeah.
And I could feel it. However, when he treated me like an adult, he knew I was going out. He knew. But one day he brought me into the office. He said, Anton, I know what you're doing because I smell booze on you. I smell it on you daily.
When you think you're getting away with it.
Yeah, when I thought I was getting away with it, he went, but it's absolutely fine. If that's what you want to do, it's fine. But if it starts to hinder or harm your training or matches or both, I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
And I went, well, what do you mean by that? I'm going to hurt your pocket.
Yeah, I do. That's coming.
I'm going to fine you and I'm going to hurt your pocket.
Because Pars is all about the fines.
But then he went to me, but then I'll do something that will hurt you even more.
Yeah.
You won't play. That's him knowing me.
Yeah.
Knowing that you can fine me, that's fine. But if you stop me playing, it's going to hurt me more.
Yeah.
Than taking my money off of me.
100%.
You know, and he only knew that because he knew me as a person. You know, and he knew that...
You love to play.
Yeah, my motivation was never money.
Yeah.
It was always playing football. You know, and I think that's why. And not just that, he don't get enough credit for his coaching. You don't get enough credit for his man management.
No. But knowing football, I think that changes because obviously the dressing room we had, it made it easier for him because we had some good players in the dressing room. Very good players.
The dressing room ran itself, really.
Yeah. So any training session he put on, the lads were on it because I don't know if this happens now because obviously you see the very best from the best players and the very, very best stay behind. They come an hour before and stay an hour behind. And we used to do that automatically because we was like an hour out on training. Pars used to tell us to go in before we even tried the training session.
We used to get dragged out. We used to get dragged off.
We loved it that much and we wanted to do well. The training was not smashing each other, but it was just the passion.
Full on.
Making sure like you're beating and dominating because the banter in the change room was like, if I'm up against you and I'm like, Anton, you just got bullied today. You're like, no, you didn't. Like, so you want to make sure that doesn't happen because of the banter.
Even the little things of like Nigel Reo-Coker, we knew he wasn't a morning person.
No.
So he used to get bantered from the minute he walked in at 9:30
every day
till training session, whether it would be 10:30 or 11 o'clock. That's when his time to get bantered was because he wasn't a morning person.
No.
And he would get it. Then afternoon, it would move on to somebody else.
Yeah. Because in the training session, he would let you know because Nigel was...
Exactly. He would go through you. If he had a being a bonnet about you, if you would know. He would go through you.
But which is good. I used to love that. And I don't think there's enough of that. Well, I don't know. But I know for a fact there's not enough of that in training sessions, obviously, because everyone wants to be careful.
Wanted.
Everyone wants to be careful, but I think it does start from training. You know in your players when to tackle someone, when not to tackle someone, and how you are, and you bring it onto the pitch. But there's only one person I know that can get away with that was Carlos Tevez.
Ooh.
But anyone else, you can tell like you need to train as you play.
Yeah, he could be up there as one of the worst trainers I've ever trained with.
He's probably mine.
But he's probably the best player I've played with.
Yeah, because he literally once he crossed that white line, he was just
different.
I can't get that. I don't understand that because he was a different kettle of fish. Wow, man. And Scott, me and you could talk for days because it's just the chemistry that you've got is mad. I've just got a couple of questions for you to start off with the investment side of it. So what was your worst thing you spent your money on? through your career? Worst investment and...
But my worst investment would probably be, I'd probably be all right now doing it, but we're investing into a clothing brand years ago, and it never materialising.
Okay.
I won't mention the brand.
No. Did you understand what you was doing at the time?
No.
So
No.
Was someone advising you, or you just thought, I'm going to put money into this?
I was helping a friend.
Yeah.
You know, and it didn't materialise.
Okay. Was you advised to do that, or is this off your own back?
Off my own back.
To help him?
Off my own back.
Yeah.
I was being generous.
Yeah.
Trying to help.
But did you think that was going to be an investment later on in life for you?
Yeah, I thought like, some clothing brand. Imagine having your own clothing brand.
Yeah.
It was more ego.
Yeah.
It was ego driven, you know, and for anyone watching, I think when you are investing or putting money into something, your ego can't be a part of it. You know, your ego has to come out of the way, and I've been lucky enough to be in rooms with some fantastic people. Yeah. You know, and people that are high up in business, and a guy by the name of David Grutman, who's Pharrell Williams' business partner.
Okay.
And does stuff in Miami. I was able to go and watch a talk that he was doing about a year ago, and him talking about he had a passion project, or a project that he always wanted to do in terms of a diner. The diner wasn't making money. If his ego was still involved in it, he would have, because he got the money to keep investing, but he had to take his ego away from it. And his ego made him shut. And when his ego come away, he shut it down because he was losing money. Yeah. And moves on to the next thing. That was me years ago in this clothing brand.
Okay.
My ego, if I would have took my ego out of it, and not had this whole thing of I'm going to have my own clothing brand, or I'm going to be part of a clothing brand, then I wouldn't have invested as much money as I did. You know, and that was a very big lesson for me. So yeah, that's probably the worst investment that I'd probably been involved in, along with buying a property abroad and it never materialising either.
Yeah, oh, good, yeah. Oh, decent. There's a good insight into investments, which is always nice to hear. So like, on the flip side of that, what's the best thing you spend your money on, or best investment that you can?
Best investment for me is probably properties. Yeah. Here in England.
Have you got a few? Have you got a few investments?
Something that you can see and feel.
Yeah. You've got some?
Yeah.
When did you start doing that?
Bought my first one at, I think, 18.
Okay. Who had advised you on that, or
my agency?
Just a family? Your agency?
My agency.
What is your agency? Your agency?
New Era Global Sports Management.
Was that with Rio or someone separate, or?
It was with Rio. Yeah. But it was, I first bought. We didn't have the agency then. Okay. But it's people that are now evolved into an agency, which is New Era Global Sports Management.
Oh, decent.
You know, I was fortunate enough to buy in Clapham and in London Bridge when I was 18, off plan. Yeah. You know, which, as you know, if you can buy something off plan, probably the best way to go into an investment, because you get a lot of money off of it.
Have you still got that now?
No.
You sold it?
No, I've sold it.
Okay.
But just property is probably the best investments that I've been involved in. It's definitely the most secure. Yeah. You know, it's definitely bricks and mortars is the most secure thing. You know, to the point that I'm involved in a development business now. Okay. Called Kudos Partners.
Oh, decent.
That build properties, you know, and with one of my good friends, who's a mentor to me in business, and has taught me a lot that I'm talking about now. He's taught me a lot of it. Yeah.
You know, we did touch a bit of that in the car.
You know, and the stuff that I said in the car was taught by him. You know, but building out properties and you know, in places that are outside of London and that are close to a train line, you know, where you can get in and out of London very, very quickly.
Good.
You know, and for me, investing in bricks and mortar is probably the most secure.
As a player, did you really think about that?
No, when you're playing football, you don't think about anything like that.
No.
You know, you're in a bubble.
Yeah, yeah.
Which is, and from a young age, this is what I say about football has a lot to answer for. They make you, or not make you, but they manipulate is probably the wrong word, but you'll understand what I mean, where they drop seeds to make sure you only concentrate on football.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and
trust me,
that's done from when you're in the academy.
Yeah.
If you worry about that, it's going to affect your football.
Yeah. But I don't think it's that.
It's not done maliciously.
No, I don't think it's the worrying or they do anything. I think it's as soon as you walk through that door, it's just football.
100%.
You got no room.
But it's so vigorous in the way that they do it.
Yeah.
That it puts you into that frame of mind where you don't want to think about nothing else but football. That advert, sleep, eat, sleep, drink, football.
Yeah.
That's exactly
how it is.
How it is.
Yeah.
And that's what you're told you need to do to become a footballer.
Yeah.
Which I understand and get, because to become successful in anything, you have to be like that.
Yeah, you do, but to a certain extent.
Exactly.
Because you can take 20 minutes or half an hour out to learn something else.
Not even 20 minutes, half an hour.
Learn and understand and ask questions.
Not even 20 minutes, half an hour. We've got to remember, you have a whole afternoon. You train.
Yeah.
You're in training from 9 till 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yeah. No, what I'm trying to say, a little bit is better than nothing.
Of course.
It just, within that 20-year period, if you're doing half an hour a day or every 2 days or whatever, it's a little bit than doing nothing, because ready for that drop.
100%. Even I speak to my kids now.
Yeah.
It's important in school to learn how to read, but not just read something and understand it. To consume it properly is so important.
Yeah.
You know, when I retired, I done a course on governance, on business governance, learning business governance.
Yeah.
Because I had a few companies that I was involved in and had shares in. But I need to know what a company structure looks like and how to understand what it looks like.
Yeah,
and what a boardroom's like, and understand different personalities in the boardroom.
Yeah, it's so good you saying this.
You know, so I done a course in governance, and for 20 years I've not done no essays.
Yeah. Nothing.
Not really read.
Yeah.
All of a sudden I'm thrown into the deep end.
Yeah.
And so out of my comfort zone. Like, it was unbelievable. But the facts are, I had so much time on my hands whilst playing to actually read.
Yeah.
Or to actually learn something. And if I would have done that, going into to do a degree or do a course wouldn't have been as daunting to me.
No, it would have been easier.
It would have been a lot easier in that transition.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, and even to the point
you don't like, obviously, like we were saying about that bubble, we don't get anything like that, which is, it's hard to understand. I'm not putting any.
But
this is not to call out any clubs or any person or anyone. I'm just talking about experience, and I'm talking about with the lads that I know and other professionals that I don't know, to talk, and I want to help everybody and like to make people aware, and so people don't have struggles later on in life. Because I'm sorry, there should be no footballers, anyone out there that should be struggling outside of life, outside of their retirement or whatever, because you're in a privileged situation and you can ask questions. There's loads of people out there to help you, to put you in the right stead, the right people to help you for your best interest. And there shouldn't be any footballer to go bankrupt because you earn a lot of money, and the timing that you have, because you're just footballing for Touchwood for 15 years, that within that period you should prepare yourself for life after football. Yeah. Regardless of whatever
also, what comes with that is a lifestyle.
Massive, 100%.
That you want to uphold.
So, and if you want to uphold that, you have to do the groundwork to make that happen. So you can go on to do whatever you want to do, feel comfortable, that there's no situation or obviously we know in people's lives, there's a lot of hurdles that you might have come to, what we know, divorce, investments that go stuff, anything can go wrong.
A lot of divorce, by the way, just to clarify, there's a lot of divorce in footballers.
Yeah.
It's something like, it's more than 70% of footballers are divorced within the first 5 years of retirement.
It's mad, isn't it?
And a lot of that comes down to money issues.
It probably does.
A lot of it comes down to money issues.
Because of one, upholding that lifestyle that you had, that you've enjoyed, not calling anyone out or anything, because this conversation is awkward in itself. So please, if people are listening, just look beyond what we're trying to achieve. Obviously,
and find the right woman
and understand what what we're trying to achieve here. Everyone's the same. Footballing ladies, footballing man. Obviously, we're talking from footballer. Obviously, any sport, any sort of high net worth situation, any individual, anybody in life. I want to help people to have a great life, because during my time in my business, I've had a lot of people ring me up for help when I'm like, Jesus, why are you asking me for help? Like, because I'm looking up to you and what you've achieved and what you've done. So I've just thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to try and set up a new business and with platforms to put people in to prepare themselves for that, and getting all the ex-pros, ex-players, top players, obviously like yourself and your family and what you've achieved in your life, to help and talk about stuff, just to prepare them, to get their mindset to say, oh, actually, you know what? Because if they're like 23 and at home chilling in the afternoon, you know what? I'm going to phone someone. Let me ask some questions. Let me just understand where that's going. What's this doing? How can I better myself?
But it's also, we put a lot of blame on
life skills
and stuff. We put a lot of blame on football, but it's also you as the individual. You know.
100%. I think you're right there.
I could have gone home.
Yeah.
Had a read about what the investment that my financial advisor wants me to put in.
Yeah.
And what the investment actually is. I could have gone and researched that.
Yeah.
But I chose to go shopping.
But at the same time, bro, my mind working overtime again, you're trusting in somebody.
Of course, 100%.
So that person
100%.
should do the best for you, because
100%.
You're there to help him, and that's your job to advise and help them in what they're trying to achieve, because investments is for investing your money to
100%.
better your money,
100%.
to better your life.
But
you're giving it to him.
Of course, but you're still in the court of law. That don't mean anything.
I get that.
So as much as you want to trust that person, you still have to read it. The best thing you can do is read and understand what the investment is. And I'm saying this now.
Yeah.
At 38 years old.
It's mad, isn't it? I'm just looking back.
Do you know what I mean? I'm saying this at 38 years old. When you're investing in something, you have to ask questions that bring that trust. You have to ask questions that bring that trust. But also, try and understand it yourself. Try and level up yourself and go and read about that bond.
Yeah, do you think that's hard for players?
It is hard.
You know, like in the dressing room now, like obviously lads don't talk. Lads find it hard to talk about anything because it just puts you in a vulnerable situation.
The only thing that we don't mind talking about is girls in the dressing room. That's it. When we was younger.
Yeah, but don't you think it's a thing that they should try and talk and help each other? Because they find it so hard to talk to each other. Well, I'm not going to go. I did. I'm thinking you did, because you don't want to put yourself out there. All these lads, you feel quite vulnerable in the sense of banter, because you don't want to be talked about or anything like that. Yeah. Which is
ego. It's all
thing.
Ego.
Yeah.
It's all ego. And mentoring to kids nowadays, that's the first thing. Is like, are you going to be ego driven, or are you going to be driven from within yourself?
Yeah.
Because there's a difference. Like when I was younger, and I used to go out and they used to go out and train. I used to stay out for an hour afterwards, and they used to drag me in, and I would hear people going, oh, you're busy. If I was ego driven at that time, I would have stopped doing it.
Yeah.
Because I was being picked on or being teased for being busy. But I had a vision and I had a goal that I wanted to be in the first team by a certain time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I knew this was I knew an opportunity was coming because I'm Rio's brother.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to be ready because I got one chance. So because of that, I wasn't driven by my ego.
Okay.
That started to change as I got older. And I started to earn money.
Mad. It's
The
crazy
ego
how
started
things
to come
change.
into
yeah,
it.
where it changed.
And
That
that's
transition of the...
And that's when your ego's involved in decision making, you tend to make the wrong decision. Fact. But the only way to take your ego out of it is learn.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Read about it.
Yeah.
Read about it. And it's easy for me to say it now at 38, but I'm telling you, I'm putting this out there now so you can learn now and not be like some other people are at 38.
Yeah. Well, I'm that's what I'm working for, because everyone should be in this situation where they have people that looks after them and they're understanding and getting to know what they're doing and getting involved in everything, really, which is nice. So you don't have no repercussions at life. So you prepare yourself for any sort of repercussion that you can deal with it, that you've already spoke about it.
100%.
Which is massive for me. Just a couple of questions, bro. Regrets. Do you have any regrets, obviously, in football, and any regrets in the investment side, and obviously working for your life experience after football? What's your regret now? Obviously, now you're saying obviously you just said you're 38.
In football, I don't have no regrets. I'm happy with everything I've done.
Yeah, good.
Hindsight will tell you that maybe you wish you would have done something different.
Yeah. Do you think you could have worked harder? No being rude about it? Because I know we did work hard.
Yeah, but there's always...
You can work...
Yeah, you always feel you can work harder.
Yeah.
I think hindsight tells me now I shouldn't have, and I don't regret going to Sunderland. I love my time at Sunderland.
Yeah.
Love the place, love the fans, love the club, and the club's massive. But hindsight tells me now I should have stayed at West Ham for a lot longer than I did.
Yeah, to grind it out.
You know, I should have stayed for a lot longer than I did.
But sometimes there's reasons why you left.
Oh, there was a lot of reasons why I left.
I know.
That were out of my control. And
Yeah.
the way that the club used, the fact that I was a fan and to pull on my heartstrings to get me out of the football club. Because back then it was 8 million was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
However, and I think Nobes done this to me, where he got me thinking, and I was like, when they moved to Olympic Stadium, the first time I went to a game there, and I went to go and see him, and the captain has his own suite, his own lounge.
Yeah.
After the game, there's a players' lounge, and the captain got his own lounge, and I went to go and see Nobes, Mark Noble, and I walked in, and I went, what? Your own lounge, bro? What's going on? And he went to me, straight, dead straight, like pan in the face before he started laughing. This could have been yours, bruv. And I was like, flip it out. But it got me thinking,
no,
right,
I love him.
It actually could have been.
Yeah, of course.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the only thing maybe in my career that I think, wow, hindsight told me I should have stayed there longer, and I should have forgot what they were trying to do in terms of pulling on my heartstrings. But I should have stayed there longer. But I do not regret going to Sunderland because I had a fantastic time there too.
Yeah. You just like you wish you could have stayed longer.
Yes.
At West Ham.
Yes.
And just to try and prolong your career there.
Yeah. And my biggest regret off the field.
Yeah.
It's a hard one.
I bet it is for you.
My biggest regret off the field.
Have you had this question before?
Yeah. Do you know what? Not understanding at a time silence is golden.
Yeah. Silence from other people?
No, from myself.
Yeah.
Not understanding.
Keeping silent?
Not keeping silent, but understanding when to talk and when not to.
Okay.
Like you've been in a dressing room.
Outspoken.
I was outspoken, fiery. If I believed something, I was there.
Yeah.
Like if I believed something, I was saying it.
Couldn't wait.
Yeah. or what people could do to me was put their problems on me and say to me, "Oh, the gaffer's not doing this," or the lads are feeling like this. The lads are feeling like that. The lads feel like it's hindering us. And because I was so driven to win and wanted to win so much, if I felt like it was affecting the lads, I would say it.
I know.
I would say it.
That day is mad. You're obviously saying this now because obviously we have stories for days. And that day at Charlton away was the stepping stone of going into a game, and what you've just said, you couldn't take anymore. And that changed a whole dynamic of why we stayed up.
Yeah, but a lot of it was, I knew we were playing shit.
Yeah, no, it weren't. There was a lot of stuff
a lot of it was
on you. Yeah, and the time that we was there, the press,
100%.
Everything
but
was
not just that. It was also
there's a lot of things built up.
Players in a dressing room, players talk.
Yeah,
and I was hearing a lot of the manager ain't doing this, or why ain't the manager doing that? Why ain't the manager doing this? Why ain't he telling us? Why ain't he doing this? Why ain't he doing that? And then in that moment at Charlton, because I felt like it was right as well, and I felt it was true what was being said, and when I analysed it, once I got going, that was it.
Yeah,
it had to come out.
But it was needed.
It was needed.
It was the right time, and it was needed. And
but I, in other parts of my career, it probably hindered me.
Yeah.
You know, with Steve Bruce, it definitely hindered me.
Yeah.
For Curbs, it didn't hinder me playing wise because he knew I was a good player. And this is what I respect about Curbs. We didn't get on in terms of like people.
Yeah, yeah.
But he knew I was a good player, so he played me. It wasn't personal.
Yeah.
Whereas Steve Bruce, one, it was personal, but I think sometimes I didn't help myself because I was too outspoken at times.
Yeah.
And I wish that in my younger days, I knew when to speak and when not to.
Yeah.
And understand that silence at times is golden.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, wow. I didn't even know that. It's good to know. Very good to know. What's, so obviously going on lifestyle, what is your lifestyle now compared to it was?
My family, man.
Back then? Are you very reserved now? Because obviously the money that we had back in the day is different to. Have you got a stepping stone for it now? Or?
Yeah, I'm lucky. You know, I'm lucky enough that through my career, my earnings came down gradually.
Yeah.
So I was able to adapt my lifestyle as I was going down the leagues.
Yeah.
It wasn't, I finished at the top and bang, it was done.
Yeah.
And my lifestyle was still up there. I had adapted to my earnings, not my savings, to my earnings.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm lucky in that sense. I'm lucky in a sense that I'm an ambassador for a fantastic company called Football Escapes, where it allows me and my family to go on holiday.
Yeah.
But also give back and coach to the kids that come on that holiday. And travel some really, really lovely places like yourself, who's an ambassador for them too. So these are like 15, 20 grand holidays that we're able to get whilst giving back to the next generation of young kids, having something that
it's fantastic.
Having something that we wish we would have had when we were kids.
Yeah.
But our kids get to experience it too. And also, sorry, and really I'm about my children. I'm about my family. I realised very quickly when I retired how selfish I was as a husband, as a parent, because I was football. Nothing came before football. My kids didn't come before football. My wife didn't come before football. My family didn't come. None of my family came before football. And it's only when you retire you realise how selfish you are. Even like, I never took my kids to the park when I played.
Yeah, but it's hard.
For the simple fact of like, and people don't understand. People look, you might listen to this and think, how are you not taking your kids to a park? But the facts are, if I took my eldest son or my daughter to the park, who were alive when who were born when I was still playing, and for instance, I'm pushing them in the swing, and I'll go to bend and push, and I feel my back, or I run over to where they are and I feel my hamstring. As you know, Mazza, going back into your club and going, by the way, Gaffer, I can't play this weekend because I've done my back pushing my daughter.
So it's mad that you say that.
That don't run.
It's so fretful that you don't want to. You don't want to.
But it was all based on
that.
It was all based on I need to be an elite pro.
Yeah,
I need to be an elite athlete the next day, and I've got a game coming up, and I'm a big influence on this team. I'm needed to try and get 3 points. I'm needed in this team.
Yeah.
That outweighed everything else.
Yeah, no, you did.
So it weren't on my radar to take them to the swing park.
Yeah, it's so hard because you talk about that. I think I went through the same thing with my kids, and it's only the last 6-7 years since I've been retired. I've been doing stuff now, which has been absolutely fun because my kids are going on to do.
And this is the reason why I wanted another. This is another reason why I wanted another baby.
Yeah,
had 2 was fine.
Yeah.
When I retired, I understood how selfish I had been.
Yeah,
I wanted another one.
Yeah,
for the simple fact that I can be not just present physically, because I was present. I was physically present.
But you weren't.
But I weren't mentally present.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make sure that I gave that to my youngest son now. And that don't come until you retire. Until you're out of that bubble.
Yeah.
You don't realise these things.
It's mad. Wow, and it's crazy because obviously we had a conversation in the car. I'm just going to touch on it again, really, because because the day and age that we have now, mental health is
massive.
It's massive. It's quite scary, really, and I can't speak highly enough of you. What you've talking to you now, and looking at you, I feel emotional because what you actually. You just seem so chilled and humble, but obviously I know what you've been through with family and with football, and it's just so. What advice? I don't think there is an advice, but what can you say to the next generation in the sense of help? It's even a hard question to help them, to prepare them. Not prepare, even that, preparing them. It's just, I don't even know how I word it to try and.
You'll never be prepared for anything. It's hard to be prepared.
Okay, yeah, I get that. That's what I'm trying to.
Especially, you can prepare for stuff to happen.
Yeah.
And it lessen the blow. So when we're talking financial and stuff like that, you can prepare that. But in terms of things that happen to me in life,
that's what I'm saying.
You cannot prepare for them. You can't. But what you can do is know that there's help out there. I will always be available for any of my
life stuff.
Any of my anyone out there who's playing football, anyone out there who's been in my shoes, I will always be there to help. Always.
Yeah.
Whether it's discrimination, whether it's grieving for the loss of a parent, I'll always be there to help. Whether it's an argument with a manager, an argument or a fight with a teammate, I'll always be there. I'll give you my honest opinion. And if it is discrimination, I'll be willing to put my head above the parapet for you because I know the feeling.
Yeah.
And I've lived it. And I don't want anyone to go through what I went through. And that's the biggest thing. And that's the reason why I've done the documentary. But also, what's the point in doing a documentary if now all of a sudden I'm silent on it?
Yeah.
That will never happen.
Yeah.
And I'll always be there to help. And I think the biggest thing I can say is control your narrative. Don't allow others to control it for you.
What do you mean by that?
So I can only give you an example, a real life experience example.
Yeah.
So when the stuff happened with John Terry, with the racism, because I didn't speak, he was able to speak, and the media were able to control my narrative.
Okay.
Not just based on what he said, but based on their own views.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what they think about it, their own views on it, painted a narrative that took my narrative away from me.
Yeah. Now I understand what
And
you're
that's the
saying.
biggest thing that I learned in that, is to not allow people to control your narrative.
Yeah.
You know, but you can control your narrative in a smart way, and in a way that's respectful.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm here for.
Yeah.
I'm here to help that.
Bro, I can't thank you enough for doing this for me, because obviously for my business, and I'm trying to educate, but obviously this is a different thing, but it's nice to talk to you about it, because this is probably the first time I've known you for over 25 years that we've had a conversation like this.
100%.
So it's mad. So we never really indulge into this sort of situation, because we're always about the banter, talking, laughing, joking, how's the family, kids and football, and we never really got to talk about this. And
but sorry, Razza, but all of what we've spoken about in terms of me as a person, what I've been through, what my thoughts are on today, and stuff, is all the reason why I set up Ferdinand Football Group.
we had a conversation about that, but that's this testament to you though again, which is absolutely fantastic, because you're just giving back and helping the next generation, which I love and which I'm all about and which I'm trying to achieve. Yet again, that's another part that we can go on for days in conversation, but it's just so good to actually sit down and have a good conversation with you and indulge in you as a person, Anton Ferdinand, who I know you as, because obviously sometimes people can get misconstrued about a certain person by not even knowing the person.
Even counselling.
Yeah.
Counselling saved me.
Yeah.
Counselling saved me.
Would you be able to say this later on as a player than you are now? Because you are quite confident now, because you feel like you have to be, and to help other people and be the person. Do you think if you were in the dressing room back in the day, would you be sort of how you are now?
If we was in this day and age today, I would openly say.
No, back in the day.
Back in the day, no chance. Back in the day, there's not a chance I would have said, by the way, guys, I'm having counselling.
Yeah.
It would never have happened.
Yeah, no.
But if I was in this
I'm not
day and
laughing
age,
about it, but it's just,
if I was in this day and age,
you
I'd
would
be open about it.
Yeah.
100%. I'd be open about it. Definitely.
That's so good. But this is why I'm glad we are like this now, because we want to help other people to talk, because it's massive to talk. You shouldn't go through things by yourself, ruining yourself, because there's people out there that genuinely want to help and make sure.
And you know what it is? Going into a room where you know you're not going to be judged.
Yeah.
That's the most comforting thing ever.
Yeah, I bet that's hard.
Especially if you've got an ego.
Yeah.
It's the most comfortablest thing, going into a room where the person you're speaking to is not going to judge you. And make it known that they're not going to judge you. It's one of the best things.
Yeah, I bet it is.
And you don't realise.
Man, I don't really think about stuff like that until
you don't
we
realise,
actually have a conversation about it.
You don't realise when stuff comes off of you, when you know it's like so therapeutic, when you have a conversation with somebody, with a therapist. You know when I know I've got a good therapist, or you know when I know I've needed to say this, is I'll go and have a session, I'll come home and go to sleep, where so much has come off of me.
Yeah, you feel relaxed.
Not even just relaxed, I feel so much has come off of me that the tiredness that hits you.
Yeah.
Because
relief?
The load that comes off of you that was so heavy on you, you no longer have it.
So
you've let it off.
Yeah.
So now you feel light enough to sleep. Whereas when you're heavy and your mind's heavy, you struggle to sleep because you're fighting.
Yeah.
Subconsciously you're fighting. And how the brain works is when something's subconscious, it don't really register. You know, you have an idea of what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
But for you to actually deal with it properly and get rid of it, it has to come to the forefront of your mind.
Yeah, yeah.
It can't be subconscious. But when you got subconscious thoughts, you naturally fight. And that's what was happening with me. I would fight. A lot of the time, especially after my mum died, I went through stages in my life where for 3 months at a time, my day started 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I couldn't go back to sleep, and I'd be fighting, wrestling with myself to sleep.
Yeah.
And it wasn't until I'd done the documentary and I watched the first edit for the first time, and things that were in my subconscious mind started to come to the forefront of my mind.
They did.
And after that, I've slept unbelievably well since then. But that's like that's me talking. So again, that's cancelling. Talking.
Yeah.
You can cancel yourself. Talk. Talk to somebody. Talk into a dictaphone. Talk. Let it out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's saying a problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah.
It's so true. And I'm living experience of that. I'm living now because of it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying I would have ever done anything stupid to myself.
But it helps.
But it flipping helped me, man.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful.
No, I bet you are. Bro. Yeah, I can't thank you enough for doing this for me. Just the last question. Is there any advice that you can give to the next generation, even ex-pros now, to everybody really? Obviously what you've been through your career and up to today, what's the advice that you could give to people really?
I think...
in what we've been talking about.
I think...
and your life experience.
I think the next generation, when you start getting to your 26, 27, you start thinking about what you're going to do when you finish.
Yeah.
Embrace change. Don't fear it.
Yeah.
Embrace the change. And don't fall at the first hurdle if it don't work for you. Always continue. We're competitors for a reason. We have skills that we've learned as footballers, soft skills that we've learned as footballers that go across all sectors.
Yeah.
We've got the banter in the dressing room, the chat in the dressing room, to go and talk on the phone, whether it's in recruitment, whether it's in sales. We've learned all of that in the dressing room. We're we're people.
Yeah.
We can converse, we can chat. So don't fear change.
Yeah.
Embrace it. And do it using the soft skills that you learn as a footballer. Being driven, being disciplined, being able to talk. Because a lot of business gets done because people like you, not what you know.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Be that talkative person that is in the dressing room, if you are that person. And understand there's life after football. And football isn't everything.
Yeah, it's massive. And people don't, it's hard, obviously, coming to the end of the episode, but that is one of the biggest things I think, is realising there is life after football. Obviously football bubble is amazing. I can't speak highly enough of my career. I loved it. I have no regrets myself. Everything I've done, the clubs I played for, everything, decisions I made, it's been phenomenal. Thankful for what I've achieved. So yeah, I think that's one of the biggest thing really, is to go and enjoy it and don't be scared to talk.
100%.
Wow, no, Anton, thank you very much, my guy. I think that'll be a wrap now of this next episode of Boots to Business, which has been absolutely fantastic. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I have to do a lot of thanks to Champley's, which they've set up this lovely room for me, which is fantastic. It's fantastic facilities, looking after me every time I get someone in. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Adzat Mard, BMW Stansted, for my lovely car that I have that I drive around, being an ambassador for them, which is amazing. Vanquish Tech. Thank you guys for that. You lot, this wouldn't be possible. Thank you enough for, you see what I'm trying to do, my vision and what I'm trying to achieve. which is amazing. And thank you, Ants. Thank you very much.